So, when you hear the letters AI, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably that flashy, sometimes kind of trashy generative AI that's just everywhere in the news. But that's just one piece of a much, much bigger and way more interesting puzzle.
I mean, the story we hear all the time is full of hype, right? And controversy and a whole lot of fear. We're constantly hearing about how AI is overpromising, not delivering, and yeah, how it's going to take all our jobs. But is that really the whole story?
And hey, this isn't just a VOP. A recent poll in the US actually put some hard numbers on it. The top feelings people have about AI: caution, concern, and a big old dose of skepticism. So yeah, it's pretty clear people are on edge, and honestly, when you hear some of the stories out there, you totally get why.
I mean, this isn't some far-off, abstract idea. For the graphic designer who said this, the impact is real, and it's happening right now. Think about it. When something that took you a solid half hour to do now takes an AI 30 seconds, well, that doesn't just tweak your workflow. It changes your whole world.
And look, those stories are completely valid and they matter. But what if they're only the tip of the iceberg? What happens when we actually look under the surface? What if we find out AI is being used for some truly profound good, in ways that, frankly, no other technology has ever been able to before?
All right, so let's get into it. And we're going to start with something that's kind of wild. It's like a perfect feedback loop. AI is now being used to design and improve the very computer chips that give it its power. Okay, so deep inside the process of making a chip, there's this thing called computational lithography. Now, to picture this, imagine trying to etch the entire map of a sprawling city onto a single grain of sand, and every single street has to be perfect. Yeah, it's so mind-bogglingly complex that this one step has been a huge bottleneck in the industry, taking weeks of supercomputer time for just one single part.
But now, check this out. NVIDIA has an AI platform, clip², and it has completely flipped the script. It takes that whole multi-week headache and gets it done overnight. Just like that, the entire speed of innovation just hit the accelerator. Yeah, just let that sink in for a moment. This isn't some small 10% improvement. We're talking 40 times faster. 40. So a jump that massive, what does that actually make possible?
Well, it's not just about doing the same things faster. It's about doing things that were basically impossible before. This kind of speed is what lets engineers design chips at the 2-nanometer scale. That's how we unlock the next generation of computing power. It's a total game changer.
So AI isn't just building better technology for us. It's actually helping us rebuild our planet. Let's shift gears from the microscopic world of computer chips to something way bigger, the massive challenge of bringing entire ecosystems back from the brink.
95%. That is how much of Tasmania's giant kelp forests are just gone, wiped out, mostly by rising ocean temperatures. We're talking about these incredible underwater forests, crucial hubs of marine life, and they're teetering on the edge of complete collapse.
So where do you even start with a problem that huge? Well, a team involving Google and some scientific institutes is using AI for a pretty amazing 3-step rescue mission. First, they use it to scan satellite images, mapping out every last bit of the forest that's still hanging on. Next, the AI basically becomes a genetic detective, diving into the DNA of the surviving kelp to find the specific genes that make them heat-tolerant. And then, the final step, they use that knowledge to breed a new, super-resilient strain of kelp, ready to go back and bring those forests back to life.
Okay, so AI's impact isn't just about crunching huge data sets or solving these massive global problems. It can also be incredibly personal. We're talking about something that offers new hope and, literally, new mobility to millions of people.
Take someone like Sarah, who lost her arm in an accident. For her, an AI-powered prosthetic arm isn't just some fancy gadget, it's getting back the simple, meaningful things, the things we take for granted, like making a cup of coffee, doing her own hair, and being able to hug her daughter.
And Sarah's story isn't a one-off. It's being made possible by a whole new wave of pioneering companies. We're talking about companies that are putting AI right into the prosthetics themselves. Their systems use these amazing neural networks that can actually read the super faint electrical signals from a person's own nerves. It literally turns a thought into motion, making the prosthetic feel like a real extension of their body.
All right, so beyond helping individuals one-on-one, AI is also starting to totally reshape healthcare on this massive system-wide scale. I mean, all the way from the research lab to the doctor's office. And look, AI is already making a huge difference in healthcare, but probably not how you're picturing it. This isn't about replacing doctors, it's about augmenting them. It's about taking over all those tedious, labor-intensive background tasks so that the human experts can do what they do best, focus on their patients.
But maybe the biggest, most profound impact is happening in drug discovery. You know, finding a new medicine has always been an absolute marathon. We're talking 10, 15 years, billions of dollars, and a ridiculously high chance of failure at the end. Well, AI is starting to turn that marathon into a sprint.
And no, this is not just some futuristic theory. Far away from all the media hype, there's a quiet revolution going on. Right now, there are over 270 companies using AI to find new medicines, and they're doing it faster, they're doing it cheaper, and with a way better chance of actually succeeding.
All right, for our last example, let's tackle one of the absolute biggest hurdles for a sustainable future: energy storage, batteries. AI is now being put to work to find the brand new materials we desperately need to power our world.
You know, trying to find a better material for batteries is like looking for a needle in a haystack the size of a planet. Seriously. So to find an alternative to lithium, researchers gave an AI just a monumental job. Go through and analyze the properties of over 23 million potential materials. And it found one. The AI pinpointed a totally new material that needs 70% less lithium. But that's not even the craziest part. The truly incredible thing is that scientists went from that initial idea to having a working prototype battery in their hands in just 9 months. 9. A process that would normally take years, maybe even decades.
And that really brings us right back to where we started, because while so much of the public conversation is about, generating stickers for our text messages, the quiet reality is that AI is already out there, right now, being used to tackle some of the biggest problems humanity faces.
So from designing the future of computers, to rebuilding our planet's ecosystems, to discovering life-saving medicines, this technology is showing incredible promise. At the end of the day, it's a tool, a really, really powerful one. And that leaves us with the biggest, most important question of all: what problems should we solve with it next?